Okay, now let we discuss page number 71. See, don't you worry about them, miss, and said the other man. All marshals handcuff themselves to their prisoners to keep them from getting away. Now, what we come to know, Miss Fairchild, she entered into the train. She saw two men sitting in front of her. One was Mr. Easton, other one was a glum looking man. Miss Fairchild knew Mr. Easton, but quite surprised to see that he was handcuffed to the another man. The another man told that he was caught by Mr. Easton. The glum looking man was caught by Mr. Easton. Okay, because he was cheating, he was making fraud papers, clear fake papers. Now, what happened? The girl, Miss Fairchild, was kept looking at the handcuffs. Don't you worry about them, miss, said the other man. All marshals, all police officers handcuff themselves to their prisoners to keep them from getting away, so that they should not run away. Mr. Easton knows his business. Well, we see you again soon in Washington, asked the girl. No, soon, I think, said Mr. Easton. My butterfly days are over, I fear. Okay, the girl expected that she would see Mr. Easton in Washington, but Mr. Easton replied that his butterfly days are over, means his freedom is now over. This will be concluded at the end. How? I love the best, said the girl. The girl said, the girl now indulges now in an irrelevant talk. In the beginning, she was quite sophisticated, had elegance. Okay, but now she seemed to come back to reality, and she tells that I love the best. The girl said she loves the best, said the girl irrelevantly. Her eyes were shining softly. She looked away out the car window. She began to speak truly and simply without the gloss of style and manner. Now she has lost into in the scenes coming too near to her. Mama and I spent the summer in Denver. She went home a week ago because father was slightly ill. I could live and be happy in the West. I think the air here agrees with me. Money isn't everything. Now she's replying to the answer, the statement given by Easton. Easton said that he became marshal because he had to earn money. Now girl said money isn't everything, but people always misunderstand things and remain stupid. This is a reply of the girl to the Eastern statement. Are you clear? Here she was quite relaxed. She comes to know that Easton is not a criminal but actually a marshal, and she talks very openly to him that she really likes to spend time in Denver in the West because it suits her. Now, say, Mr. Marshall, growled the glum faced man, this isn't quite fair. I am needing a drink. Now, beta, here, Mr. Marshall is again interrupted by the glum faced man because the glum faced man wanted to have a drink and haven't had a smoke all day. Haven't you talked long enough? Take me in the smoker now, won't you? I'm half dead for a pipe. Now again, Mr. Marshall, Mr. Easton is interrupted by the glum-faced man. The glum-faced man urged for a drink and a smoke. He wanted to go to smoker room, and as he was half dead for a pipe. The bound travelers, the bound traveler, but here Mr. Easton and the glum face looking man. The bound travelers rose to their feet, Easton with the same slow smile on his face. I can't deny a petition for tobacco, he said lightly. If the one friend of the unfortunate could buy Miss Fairchild, duty calls, you know. Now, but Mr. Easton explained that he had to go because he cannot deny the petition of the of the glum-faced man. Goodbye, Miss Fairchild. Duty calls, He held out his hand for a farewell. Okay, it's too bad you are not going east, she said, reclothing herself with manner and style. Again, she turned herself into her proper manners and style and felt very bad as Mr. Easton is not going to the east of America. But you must go on to the Leavenworth, I suppose. No, he must go to Leavenworth prison, where the prisoner would be sent. Yes, said Easton, I must go on to Leavenworth. The two men sidled down the aisle. The aisle is better here, the passage between the seats. The two men sidled down the aisle into the smoker room here. The two passengers in a seat nearby had heard most of the conversation. Now, but there are two more passengers sitting near Mr. Easton, glum-looking man and Miss Fairchild. They had heard their talks. Said one of them, "That's Marshall, a good sort of chap. Some of these Western fellows are all right. Pretty young to hold an office like that, isn't he?" Now, but one of the passenger commented that Mr. Easton was quite young to be a marshal, to be a police officer. Isn't he? Asked the other. "Young," exclaimed the first speaker. "Why, oh, didn't you catch on? Say, did you ever know an officer to handcuff a prisoner to his right hand?" Now, finally, we came to at the end from the conversation of the two passengers that Mr. Easton was not a marshal but actually a prisoner who was caught by the glum faced man. Clear?